What if I told you that one country's financial tricks nearly tore Europe apart? This is the story of how Greece, a nation known for its ancient brilliance, philosophy, and culture, spiraled into the worst debt crisis in modern European history. And the real question is, could it have been avoided? Let's go back to 1999. Europe was riding a wave of post-Cold War optimism. The vision was bold: unify the continent not just politically, but economically, with a single currency. The euro. No more exchange rates, no more currency risk, just one system binding Europe together. But there was a catch. To join, countries had to meet strict financial rules: budget deficits below 3% of GDP, debt below 60% of GDP, low inflation. These rules were meant to ensure stability. For most countries, they were tough, but doable. For Greece, they were almost impossible. By the late 1990s, Greece's economy was already fragile. Tax evasion was widespread. Nearly a third of economic activity went unreported. Government spending was bloated. Public jobs were handed out for political favors. And debt? It was already above 100% of GDP. Greece faced a painful choice: reform and suffer, or get left behind. So it chose a third option. It cheated. In 2001, Greece turned to a major Wall Street bank for help. The solution? Financial engineering. Using complex currency swaps, Greece was able to move billions in debt off its official books. On paper, everything looked fine. In reality, nothing had changed. The debt was still there, just hidden. And it worked. Greece joined the euro. At first, everything felt like a dream. Borrowing became cheap. Investors trusted Greek bonds almost as much as Germany's. Money poured into the country. The government spent heavily on salaries, pensions, and infrastructure. Then came the big moment: hosting the 2004 Olympics. It was meant to showcase a modern, powerful Greece. Instead, it cost over 9 billion euros, far more than planned. But no one worried. The economy was booming, jobs were everywhere, living standards were rising. It felt like a golden age. But underneath, the foundation was weak. Taxes still weren't collected properly, productivity lagged behind the rest of Europe, and debt kept growing, hidden behind layers of accounting tricks. Then came 2008. The global financial crisis hit. Suddenly, everything changed. Tourism collapsed, shipping revenues dried up, tax income fell sharply, and Greece needed even more borrowing, just as global lenders were becoming cautious. Then in 2009, the truth came out. The government revealed that previous leaders had been hiding the real numbers for years. The deficit wasn't manageable. It was massive. Markets panicked. Credit ratings were slashed to junk. Interest rates soared. And just like that, Greece could no longer borrow money. By 2010, the country was on the brink of default. And this wasn't just Greece's problem. European banks held billions in Greek debt. If Greece collapsed, the crisis could spread across Europe. So international institutions stepped in with a massive bailout. But there was a condition: austerity. Greece had to cut spending, raise taxes, and shrink its economy to regain control. In theory, this would restore confidence. In reality, it made things worse. As government spending fell, businesses struggled. Unemployment surged. Tax revenues dropped even further. The economy entered a vicious cycle. Cuts caused recession, recession reduced revenue, lower revenue led to more cuts. By 2013, unemployment hit over 27%. Youth unemployment exceeded 50%. Poverty spread rapidly. An entire generation saw its future disappeared. Hospitals struggled, schools shut down, protests erupted. This wasn't just an economic crisis anymore. It was a human crisis. In 2015, after years of suffering, Greek voters demanded change. A new government promised to end austerity and push back against creditors. But Europe refused to back down. Banks began losing deposits. Panic spread, withdrawals were limited. And then the unthinkable happened. Greece defaulted on a major international loan. The financial system froze. Eventually, another bailout was agreed, but with even harsher conditions. There was no easy way out. By the end of the crisis, Greece's economy had shrunk by 25%, debt had risen above 180% of GDP, hundreds of thousands had left the country. A decade was lost. So what went wrong? First, Greece's own decisions. Years of overspending, weak tax systems, and hidden debt created a fragile system destined to fail. Second, the design of the euro itself. Countries shared a currency, but not full control over their economies. Greece couldn't devalue its currency or print money in a crisis. It was trapped. Third, austerity. Cutting spending during a deep recession didn't fix the problem. It intensified it. And finally, priorities. The system focused on protecting financial institutions, while ordinary people bore the cost. Greece eventually recovered enough to exit its bailout programs in 2018, but the scars remain. The lesson is simple. Economic stability isn't just about numbers. It's about trust, transparency, and strong institutions. Because when those fail, even an entire country can collapse.